gamers? Welcome to the Part-Time Gamers Club, where we game part-time but support gaming all the time. For those of you tuning back in, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the crew. I'm Gio. Alongside me is Gerard. And on today's episode, we're going to be discussing Bungie's latest game, Marathon, and all the backlash surrounding it. So, Gerard, you kind of talked about it the other day, mentioned it. I know a little bit about it, not as much as you. So, kind of fill me in on what is going on with Marathon and Bungie's new project.
Yes, and some context for those who don't know or have been not following up on Bungie's latest endeavors. Marathon is the newest project that Bungie is putting out. It is an extraction shooter, very similar to Apex Legends and Escape from Tarkov, with that each hero it has superpower. I say superpowers, but like special abilities that you can do, and you go in with either a team or solo to get stuff from a map, and then you on that map have an exfil point that you use to leave and to gather all your stuff, okay, that you've collected. Very similar to or excuse me, not very similar to the exact same game loop as many others. If you play DMZ or DMZ, I think it is DMZ, from Call of Duty, it's like the exact same thing. Now, Marathon recently just had its alpha test or beta test, whichever, with online players, and a lot of people played it. And lo and behold, the majority of people that played it did not find it fun, and the other players thought it was okay. It was like meh, because
not good, not great.
Nah, it's meh. Like, and that's the problem with like the genre of extraction shooters. One, it's very hard to get like to pin down the fun aspect of extraction shooters. But two, the genre is already niche. This is like a genre that's like, oh, I want to make a puzzle game. There's not a lot of people playing puzzle games, and those puzzle games have like, or the puzzle players have like very high standards, because like puzzle games need to have this certain element of just close to possible or impossible as possibly can for difficulty. So that's already a difficult thing. But in this latest news, they recently were discovered to be plagiarizing some artists online. Some artists' pictures and drawings were put into the game without the artist knowing. And it's like posters and like HUD UI and things like that, that they made changes to, like slightly alteration. Some of them are just one-to-one, just they change the color and that's it. And the excuse that Bungie has given is like, hey, this was like the person responsible for art direction left, and they were using that person's art as just an example of like what kind of style they wanted. But the people that came in didn't know it was a style they wanted. They thought it was something that they'd drawn, and they were like, all right, this only needs like color changes and things like that. So that's what they're saying. But at the end of the day, you put in someone else's work without letting them know, and it's very hard to believe a repeat offender, because this is not the first time Bungie has plagiarized art. They've done it in Destiny 2 as well. So like, how far, and then this is a question to you, Gia, how far or how many times can a company do something and at some point you just stop believing them?
Well, when you notice it to be a pattern, and it seems to be a pattern with Bungie at this point, it's like, and it's a hard story to believe, because then it's like, so nobody communicated to the new people that those were just samples and ideas of artwork that they wanted to put in. So there's no communication. They just said, hey, here's the keys. You guys go do what you're going to do. And they were just like, oh, all right. So this looks like what they wanted. And
Yeah,
nobody
and like,
questioned it. Nobody reviewed it at any point.
Nobody wrote down just like, hey, I grabbed this from online. Like you know, I honestly, even if it was true, right? Even if it was true, I'd still blame Bungie, because like
Oh,
That means that you
absolutely.
don't have any written things. You're not
There's no
writing anything
organization.
down.
There's no organization. There's no communication. There's no leadership or guidance. You know what I mean? Because how does that happen? Like, how does that even? I'm trying to like make it make sense, but at the same time, it's just like you said. Even if it's true, it just makes them look bad either way. As a company, as an organization, it's just you have no organization, you have no communication. It's starting to kind of explain what's been going on with Bungie over the last, I'd say, decade or so now. I mean, honestly, I haven't thought about Bungie in a long time. I mean, other than Destiny games, even those didn't really intrigue me like that. But since Halo, I don't think they really have anything to really hang their hats on, man.
Yeah, and honestly, like I don't know why, because like Destiny 2 hits. I don't know how to describe this, but I think that they've really gone out of their element because like
Mhm.
Halo, in my mind, was two elements. One, you had a great story because Master
Mhm.
Chief, like, I became an icon, and
Mhm.
then you had the PvP, which honestly, if you think back about it, very simplistic. Okay, you have
Mhm.
weapons that shoot differently. You have like at most different types of grenades, and then they've expanded upon that. But like base Halo that was really popular in Halo 2, the only thing they added was dual wielding in Halo 2. It was basically the exact same gameplay. So it's like, oh, you have a shield, and once your shield's gone, you die. Basically that.
Mhm.
That's like basically what they had simplistically. Like, yes, there were like vehicles and stuff like that, but vehicles were not present on every map.
Mhm.
So they've changed their dynamic because like Destiny 2, Halo inspired,
Halo-esque.
but yeah, but like the gameplay loop is different because you're grinding for drops and loot drops and things like that. And they've taken the MMO aspect and put it into a shooter game. And I was like, for my MMOs and my shooters, I kind of like them separate. And like,
Mhm.
I won't say that I didn't play Destiny 2 because I did. I gave it a chance. Like, he tried to give it a chance. I tried to give it multiple chances too because my friends were playing and they loved it. But
I
I
just
can't. I just can't.
I think for me, Destiny didn't really draw me in because, like you said, it was kind of like trying to mix Halo's gameplay style, similar to, into an MMO, and like you said, shooters. I think I would have enjoyed it more if it played more like a Borderlands loot shooter than the way it played Halo style. I think that was kind of what threw me off when I was playing it. I was just kind of like weirded out by it. I was just like, this doesn't feel, I don't know, doesn't feel you like natural. So for me, that's why I never really got drawn into the Destiny games. But I don't know. I'm not saying nobody else liked it. Clearly, it was a successful game, but it's been a long time since Destiny 2 came out. Like they haven't put anything out really. And if this is the game they're trying
But
to, I guess, come back from the dead or save themselves, it's not looking good.
I'm trying to remember because I do think they tried, and I may be misremembering, so I am double checking just to make sure. Uh,
Or they might have dropped something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow Bungie like that anymore.
yeah. So like, uh, they have been like failing miserably because the majority of their focus has been into Destiny
Hmm.
2 specifically,
Yeah.
and they have not been great releases recently. The most recent, which was the Lightfall, and then the one before that was, or the one that's coming up, or no, excuse me, Final Shape, and then Lightfall was better. But from Lightfall onward, not many like great successes. They've changed their monetization. It's getting even worse. I literally dropped Destiny 2 during with the Witch Queen, I think, and that was considered the last good one. So that's not to say much. But yeah, it's like, so Bungie has been attempting to just push through their development with Destiny 2 and just like raking up much monetization, and they've lost a lot of players by doing that.
Hmm.
Then you have like the Marathon release, and it's not looking great. And like, I wanted to be known too. Marathon is technically a franchise. They made a Marathon game a long time ago. It is vastly different than that Marathon game. The old Marathon game was more Doom-like, like OG Doom, where single player, you go in, you kill a whole bunch of people, like looting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But now
like
it's an extraction shooter, things like that. It's like that's vastly different. So like the people that were expecting a Marathon return, not getting that. And then people who want a new Bungie game or new Destiny or a new Halo, something along those lines, they're not getting that. They're getting an extraction shooter, which is like at this point a dime a dozen, because everybody's trying to follow that train, which I don't know why, because it's not a good train.
Well, I think it's okay to have an extraction shooter if you do it like Call of Duty did it, where it's like a separate game mode. You know what I mean? It's like a mini game in it. Like, I think that works, but making your whole game centered around it is like you said, it's a niche genre, so you're already catering to a very small group as it is. And if you're not successful, you're going to bomb hard. Because if you don't grab the attention of that audience, then you have no audience. You literally put yourself into like this little pigeonhole, and you either have to make something they like, or you have no game, because that's not a game that attracts a mass audience like that. You know what I mean? So I think it's better if you just do that as a mini game in the game.
Yeah, and like this is such a weird thing to say. The deviation from story elements, like having a single player or a campaign mode, is baffling to me when you wrote, or when your company's responsible for the most like interesting FPS story of all time. I would say Halo has probably the best story of all first-person shooters. Personal belief, but it's at least top 5, if not top 3.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I don't know, man. Maybe they just don't have the same creative team that they had back then.
They don't. But like, still, like,
sucks.
you don't even try. Like, you don't even try.
Well, like I said, I don't know too much about the game, and so I don't know what else has been implemented. I know I heard something about
Marathon.
Yeah, like
they
something about character designs aren't that great either. People aren't really feeling the character designs.
It's like you can create your own character. However, like your character models are based off of a hero, so you have a base template and you work off of the hero. So very similar to Apex Legends, but you can like. Just like Apex Legends, have skins and everything like that and change the way they look, but it's like piecemeal.
Okay.
But if there's no story, you have no way to tie into their like personalities or things like that. And like what they're going like very From Software or like From Software is like my best. Like Dark Souls, like where like the story is in the items and in the lore. And I was like, no, but that's a cop-out. Like, From Software did it, and it wasn't a cop-out, because there is very much an intricate story, and they are telling you the story, but it's very small amounts through the story, like the campaign, and you're supposed to figure out the details from the items. No, they did. You've chosen to just avoid the story completely and just make up one through item tags. That's what it feels like in Marathon. So It is piss poor, but like, and you know what? Here's a follow-up question. You have not played any extraction shooter. Like, you didn't even try out the DMZ one, right? So like, someone who has no idea or played an extraction shooter, let me ask you a few questions, okay? Do you enjoy going to the same location over and over again to explore it to find new items?
I think I would get boring pretty quick.
All right.
Repetitive.
Yeah, follow-up question. Do you enjoy every now and then, maybe every season, every semi-annual, like every 6 months, every 3 months, something like that, do you enjoy having all your progress reset because the game needs to stay fresh and you need to do it over again? The only thing that changes is like gameplay elements.
So you lose all your loot and everything that you got? Everything you grinded for?
Yeah.
Nah, I'd be done right after season one.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah, fuck that. Nothing carries over. Nothing?
Yeah.
Nah. I'm
The
good.
point I'm making is like as extraction shooters need to do that, so like the people who have done everything in the game have something to do, like when they come back in. It's like very similar to like Diablo 4 and like just like ARPGs. They need to have seasons so that the game stays fresh, and all they do is just change the gameplay between the two.
Yeah.
But that is again very niche genre, especially as a shooter, because like ARPGs, they have like very good time, but like everyone knows ARPGs have this like hard drop off, and that hard drop off is at the end of a season when there's nothing left to do, and that's going to be the exact same problem with extraction shooters. So unless your extraction shooter like is Escape from Tarkov or things like that, where like it's been refined over the years, it's like defining a genre, things like that, you are not going to have that much success. And even if you do, their popularity is not going to be there for long. Okay. So the fact that Bungie decided on an extraction shooter out of all the shooting options is baffling to me.
Yeah, I am a little taken back by that too, because it's like you said, a niche genre, and if this is a game that you're trying to, I guess I don't want to say because I don't know what their position is financially, but if you're trying to get your company back to the days of Halo, S days, it's not an extraction shooter that's gonna get you there.
Exactly.
It's definitely not.
And like the worst part is that extraction shooters are like the newest trend and things like that. But like I understand with trends, the reason why people follow those trends is because a lot of people are interested in those, and those genres are probably new. But extraction shooters aren't. It's not a new genre. Okay, Escape from Tarkov has been out for almost 8 years now. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And this isn't like, oh, it's a new MOBA and Dota and League of Legends are popular. Let's jump on the bandwagon. No, it's like you're coming into a well already established genre, which means that all the players that play those games already know what they like. Okay.
They have an expectation.
Exactly. And that's the problem of like going into a well-developed genre rather than just hopping into a new one. Because in a new genre like MOBAs, or I would consider MOBAs maybe extraction shooter would be the last new genre, but that came out like 8 years ago. I'm trying to think of like a new genre, but like because like it's hard to make a new genre of video games without like sounding weird about it. Because
what about like Power World, games like Power World? That's more popular now. Yeah, well, how long have they been doing that though? That style Pokemon games. The Pokemon games back in the day weren't like that.
No, but like, there are examples. Like Arx also had that system. Like, it's called creature capture, and it does exist as a genre. Pokemon as itself is considered like the forefront of that genre. So, but yeah, cause like,
I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, what I'm trying to point out is like, genres like coming out very new, very fresh, very rare. So going into a well-established genre is already hard enough, especially like for like popular genres. Like in my opinion, a popular genre would be a shooter, FPSs, or worst case scenario, not worst case scenario, like other things like MMOs and things like that. Those are like populated beyond doubt, but the reason why there's not a lot of them is because they're expensive to make. FPSs, you have physics to always worry about, and like ray tracing, or I say ray tracing, vector tracing with bullets and like hit detection. Those are expensive things to make, especially with map design. MMOs, I don't even need to describe it. It's expensive to make an MMO because you need all the features, all the assets, and servers that are up 24/7. That's already expensive. But like like people don't realize like games that require servers to be up or instances to be up are always expensive, and that's what an extraction shooter is. You have your instances always up and like shards ready to go at any time because people are going in and out of those arenas often, very often. So like, unlike other games where you just start up an instant, a match happens, and then you close the instance, it is expensive to keep those things up even after everyone's gone. But more importantly, it is not worth the effort when you only have like 5 people entering that goddamn place. So, honestly, it baffles me what Bungie's doing here, because they have entered a genre with a half-assed attempt and are plagiarizing art. That's like 3 strikes, man. Like, you should be out. You should even continue with Marathon.
Well, that plagiarism is real bad because, like, the game hasn't even been dropped yet, and they already have their marketing campaign on a hold right now. Are they already concerned about the game getting lawsuits? Because that's a bad sign. The game hasn't even come out yet.
Well, yeah. I mean, the people that, or the person that found out their art was being used without their consent did say they were not suing or anything like that. They just was disappointed. They was like, hey, you're using my artwork, but you can't even hire me. Like,
yeah, that is. No, I get it. I get it from the artist's perspective. Like, yo, just cut me a little slice. That's it, man. Just pay me, credit me. That's it. And then you can use my art, but you gotta, give me something in return.
Yeah. And it's the funniest thing, right? Artists are worried about their jobs because art exists. Art exists.
Mm-hmm.
But they should also be worried about people just straight up stealing their art in the first place. It's like AI art does steal your art, but it makes something out of it. They're just people just straight up stealing your art.
That's true. That's true. I mean, but that AR stuff is getting way crazy. I personally don't like how the art looks, though. You can see it. You can tell the difference between AI art and regular art.
I would say the more realistic AI, or like the art you want from AI, the more easy it is to tell. But like abstract art, just like, hey, AI art, can you just make me like a graphics t-shirt or like a logo or something like that? Yeah, it's like plagiarizing a whole bunch of people, but it will make something that does not look fake, does not look like AI generated. And that's the problem, is when you get to abstract, where a lot of artists take their time, and like abstract art is not easy to create as a human being. And that's why AI art like literally steals a whole bunch of art, because they can't think of art for themselves. Mm-hmm. Those are when you have the problems like, hey, AI can't be doing this because as a human being, it took me a lot of time to figure out what my art style is, and an AI just taking my art style and just copying it verbatim. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. But it is, I don't know what's worse. And I will leave this down to the comments. AI art or just straight up plagiarism?
They're both bad.
I said worse. I said what's worse. I didn't say which one was good.
I know. I still got to go with plagiarism. But then again, technically, you could state that the AI is plagiarism in itself because it is taking from multiple artists and creating an art.
But yes, however, AI art and plagiarism have two different intentions. Yeah. The person who's asking AI art to make it doesn't know what's being plagiarized. All right, they're asking AI to just plagiarize what they want. They don't know who they're plagiarizing from, and that's a problem. But like, so when you do plagiarism by itself, you just straight up steal it. You know who you're fucking over.
I just want to know, but you're saying as long as you can, I guess, claim ignorance, that you're okay because AI art. Oh, because I don't know who it is. It's not as bad.
No, it's not that as it's not as bad. It's not as malicious.
Okay,
because like I'm asking a tool.
It's not the same intention.
Yeah. I'm asking a tool to do something for me, I know the tool is doing something bad, but I don't know, like, if it only stole one person's art and made from it, stole two people's art and combined them together. Like, I don't know that. But if I'm just straight up stealing it online, I know that I personally said, fuck you, whoever made this.
Well, you're
Now,
kind of saying that too in the other way, in the other form, because you're just going. I asked AI. I didn't know where it was going to take it from.
yeah,
My bad.
but there are things that you can say. Like, are you going to blame the person who used the AI art for asking them to make AI art? Yes. Are you going to, is everyone going to know where the AI came from? Because all you can, like, what artists have right now is like, hey, my art is being used in training data. I don't know if it actually was used in the creation of your art. Yeah. Because the AI generation does not say who it took from. All it cares about is what it looked like, grabbed it, made art from like a representation of it or like looking at it, and it made something different. You can't tell who you stole from. All you can tell was that it was you, like the robot trained off of your data or your art, things like that.
Yeah.
Now, when you're plagiarizing, you know for the fact that the intention was to steal from that person. So it was like one, malicious, two, intent, like the intention was there, and three, there is no middleman. You just straight up just went there. Like the person had to have gone through effort to go to that person's like profile, website, portfolio, and steal it. So,
but Bungie didn't plagiarize. The new crew just didn't know.
The new crew didn't know. They didn't know. They didn't know it was plagiarized already.
They didn't know. They thought that was the art they made.
All right. Do you have any final things to say about the Marathon state?
If anything, if this is the game they're hanging their hat on, I guess this is about to be the end of Bungie as we know it.
They have switched on to Destiny 2 production once again now that they know Marathon's fans. We'll like that to be nice.
They better do something.
All right. That's all from us. Make sure you leave a like and comment down below. As again, comment on whether you think AI art or just straight up plagiarism is worse, and whether or not Bungie should just make Destiny 3 at this point. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.